This week on Preview World Weekly, Skybound reveals plans for Invincible 20th anniversary. Marvel announces plans for their upcoming story arcs, and we discuss cursing in the Star Wars universe again. It's all happening right now on PREVIEWSworld Weekly.
What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I am one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, aka the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. Guys, there was feedback during that teaser.
Yeah.
It scared me.
It's solidarity. I was like, yeah, that happened to me last week too. I was just like, who's talking? Why is someone making fun of me? But that's not what happened at all. Anyway, what's up, guys? It is Wednesday. It is New Comic Book Day. Welcome to PWs Live. I kind of struggle with the PWs thing, gotta be honest.
You go back and forth. Sometimes you like it.
Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I don't know. I feel like there's a better way to abbreviate that doesn't sound... PWs doesn't sound so 2000s.
I mean, I kind of like it.
You kind of like it? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You're the younger person here, so you can tell us what's cool and what's not cool.
I mean, yeah. I'm also kind of quirky, though, so I don't know that...
That's fair. You're also a comic book nerd, so
yeah.
you kind of like deduct cool points for that one, right?
Yeah. I'm not exactly the arbiter of all things cool.
That's fair. That's fair. But you know what? We're going to put you guys onto some cool stuff this week.
We actually have a comment already.
Wow. Already? What is there to say?
Someone was quick with it.
Anton saying, did you enjoy Comic-Con?
Oh, New York Comic Con. We didn't go to New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Like, actually, this is the first. Well, this is technically the second year because they had that soft New York Comic Con last year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Right, but this is the first year. Yeah, neither one of us have gone in a long time. So I don't know what the deal is.
At first, I was like kind of happy about not going just because it was so packed in 2019. Like I almost didn't enjoy it in 2019 because it was so packed. Then I found out Tom Sturridge, who plays Dream and Sandman, was going to be there, and I was like, damn it.
Exactly like that. That real guttural voice. That's exactly what came out of Ashton. No, I get that. Like, I do have those moments too. I did the same thing with San Diego where I was like, yeah, I'm fine not going this year. And then, like, in retrospect, I'm like, you know, it actually is kind of nice to be.
Yeah.
You know, San Diego, compared to New York,
yeah,
San Diego's way nicer. And that's not any shade to New York Comic Con. It's just that there are so many people there. And it feels congested, even though technically I don't even feel like the Javits Center is probably that much bigger than the San Diego Convention Center. I could be wrong. There could be someone probably...
I mean, it's a little bigger.
It's a little bit bigger,
It just feels so tight by comparison.
Right, yeah. And I mean, I guess that's just New York in general. Right?
Yeah, that's fair. Well, also, like, the people in San Diego are more laid back. Like, everyone's really, like, has a lot of urgency in New York.
Yes. There's a beachside-ness to San Diego Comic-Con for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the problem is the fact that, like, when you go outside of San Diego, the entire town embraces Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You go outside of the Javits Center in New York City, and there's like not much going on there at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of New York, which is already a lot.
Right. New York is going on.
New York is going on for sure. That's for damn sure. No, like San Diego definitely. You can kind of like go about like I want to say maybe about 12 blocks in any direction, and you're still kind of in the convention experience.
There's
which is actually
all those
cool.
like outdoor activations and things to do.
Right. So this might be overshare. Okay.
Oh all right, now you have to.
But I remember my first year, I just didn't pack enough underwear, right?
Oh, okay.
Long story short, right? My first year, didn't pack enough for San Diego Comic-Con, so I went to the Reebok store, which is like a few blocks up from the hotel or whatever, right? To go purchase it. And I went to go purchase some underwear, and then like the lady at the desk was like, oh, you have a badge. I can give you 20% off. I was like,
what?
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I thought I'm feeling like I'm pretty far away from the convention center, but they were still giving discounts for people who just had the San Diego Comic-Con badge, so.
Okay.
This is just an example of what I mean. That's all that is.
Take what you can get.
And a bit of an overshare, so there you go. So typically this is the part of the show we do things we saw this week, right?
Yeah.
But I saw something this week, and it was very disturbing.
What'd you see?
And we just saw it a second ago. Johnny has shaved.
Johnny's mustache is disturbing, apparently.
Take it in all of its 1980s science teacher glory.
Yeah, with the hair, it's giving mad scientist.
Hey, actually, yeah, I kind of feel that. I think it's a good look. Actually, I was just joking earlier just to make a joke, but I think it works for Johnny personally. He looks like Burt Reynolds. I'm expecting BJ and the Bear to happen in a moment now. Wait, was Burt Reynolds BJ and the Bear?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I defer to you guys.
I think he's a quiet 90s baby.
Well, there is a reason that I actually did this outfit.
Yeah, what's going on, Johnny?
So there was a Chamber of Commerce event that I went to, and it was an 80s prom themed. Mm-hmm. So instead of actually trying to find an 80s prom get-up, I did the most obvious thing in my mind, which was to go in costume, and the costume was to dress up as cultural icon and national treasure 80s pop phenomenon Weird Al Yankovic.
God, and you killed it. You
fully
committed.
This is actually perfect.
Like, the accordion is hilarious.
I mean, I had the shoes, I had the Hawaiian shirt. All I had to do was buy the hair and then the accordion.
Right. No, that's great. I saw you kind of posting little teases here and there. Or maybe they were teases to me.
No, they were.
Because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Johnny's really going in for Halloween this year. He's celebrating the Weird Al movie, which is coming out, or is it out already?
No, it comes out on November 4th, I believe.
Okay, so this is coming up soon. So I was like, I thought he was getting really hyped for this.
You're getting in the spirit.
Right. But no, I mean, that's also cool that you did. Are you going to reuse this for Halloween, you think?
Oh yeah, well now I kind of have to because I'm I've already put that much time and effort, and I bought an accordion for this, so I'm gonna repurpose this as much as I can.
I bought an accordion.
Do you know how to play the accordion, John?
No, but I've been practicing Weird Al songs on the accordion.
Okay.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
I've got a little bit of My Bologna figured out, and another one, Rides the Bus.
Okay.
So,
all classics.
The bad thing is now I'm stuck with this weird, creepy mustache until Halloween. So
I think
seriously look like I should be driving around with a windowless van. This is not.
Oh no.
No. So I apologize for that joke, and I apologize for this, but.
God. I was gonna follow that up with an also doubly offensive joke, and I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, let's double down on being rude.
This is for the kids. This show's for the kids. At least that's what.
When did that happen?
Is it?
That's probably not true at all. I know.
We do have a few more comments with some of our friends checking in.
What's going on? Comments.
Ubaldo saying hello there.
Hello.
What's up, Ubaldo?
Anton's following up saying sad that we didn't make it to New York.
Sad.
Oh yeah, sad. I heard Donald Trump in my head.
So did I.
That's just how it works now.
Been conditioned like a dog.
Annie, speaking of dogs, Annie Fox saying hi. Sorry, I'm late. Running with the dog.
Oh, okay. Aww. What's up, Annie? I thought you called Annie a dog for a second. I was like, holy crap.
At first, I thought it was a reference to fox, and I was like, I feel like a fox is closer to a cat than anything.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Wasn't that actually? Never mind. That's going to put us on a whole tear. We're not going to go there. I was watching something recently. They were talking about the relationship of dogs and cats.
Mark Robinson saying Burt Reynolds was in the movie Smoking the Bandit. Greg Evigan was in the TV show BJ and the Bear.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I failed my early 80s.
I can see how you got that confused, though.
Yeah, my early 80s movies, television stars and movie stars. My bad.
And then Ubaldo's also saying, by the way, loving the voting on the Monsters and Candy and Chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Yay! Let's talk about this real quick. Yeah, let's get into this real quick.
Okay, yeah. So we have 2 brackets running on Halloween Comic Fest. Halloween Comic Fest is going on right now, by the way, guys. It's a virtual event this year, so we're celebrating completely online, but I'm trying to keep it super fun. There's free comics, free digital comics every Monday on the website. So if you want to scratch that free comics itch, we're doing it that way. We also just had this interview with cosplayer Brittany Blake, who's also a professional wrestler for AEW. So that interview went up today. But cool. The thing I'm most excited about, and apparently everybody else is most excited about, is these brackets we're doing. Where we're voting on the scariest monster and the best Halloween candy. And if you guys got hot and spicy opinions, which apparently everybody does, this is the place to share them. The one going on, we'll have a new one going up later today for the Monster Mash bracket. Not sure what it is, but it'll be going up at 3 o'clock, so you can share your opinion then. Candy is going on right now.
Yeah, right. Did you start that yet?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I haven't seen that one yet.
I haven't put the new one up yet today, but yesterday was Reese's Cups versus Snickers. Snickers lost. Also, I regret to inform you, M&M's lost to Kit Kats.
This is what? This is disgusting. You guys. M&M's lost to Kit Kats.
Oh, I remembered the Monster Mash one. It's Victor Crowley and the Grabber. That's the one right now, which is I asked.
That sounds like a '50s thing.
I asked Matt, a coworker Matt, who's like really into the horror scene. Him and his wife are really into the horror scene. So I was like, what are like some more obscure ones that we can like mix in with the classics? And those were his contributions.
The Grabber.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right. Okay, I'm into it.
I
have to look that one up.
Threw up some pictures on Twitter with it because I figured, some people might be unfamiliar. So I was like, here's what they look like if you want to just look at them and be like, this one had a more visceral reaction.
Right, okay. No, I was about to say, you're probably going to have to do that because, okay, that makes sense. The Grabber. Oh, God, I can see Twitter having a great time with that one. All right, look, I said I wasn't going to talk about, I said I wasn't going to talk about this anymore. We're going to get to comics in a second.
Longest intro ever.
Oh, God. Yeah.
To be fair, I'm the one that made this a thing again because I had input now that I'd watched episode 3 of Andor.
You did, that's true, yeah.
So we're back on whether or not human swear words have a place in the Star Wars galaxy. We're back on this.
You know what I find amusing about this? I take issue with a lot in Star Wars.
Especially literal, apparently.
But apparently it's the actual use of the word that actually gets people upset with me. Because people were dragging me on my timeline. It was like pretty aggressive. It was like, I didn't think it was that. I was just making an observation. I had to kind of I had to kind of figure out why I was upset about this. And I'll maybe get to that in a second.
Okay.
And I wasn't upset. I think that might be a stronger word. But actually, no, I think Johnny showed me this video on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think that it actually underlines, it's not that I'm upset. It's more that I'm just like the lack of logic here.
Okay.
Within the Star Wars universe, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, I kind of feel, to me. And I think that it's just one in a series of, stop looking at me like that, Ashton.
Can you see the judgment in my eyes?
I was just like, there he goes again. But just like, it's just one in a line of things. It's sort of like, you guys keep kind of like messing with this world in a way that's, that's just sort of like, I don't think these pieces necessarily fit. But anyway, Johnny, are we allowed to show the TikTok video?
Yep.
Okay.
All right,
we're going to show you this TikTok video because I thought it was hilarious.
Let's give credit to the person who posted it.
Yeah.
Charlie Hopkinson, who does a lot of these things online with like deep fake and swapping out of like faces and everything like that. So let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right.
Apparently, in the Star Wars galaxy, this is the first time anybody has said the S word on camera. What? We could have said that the whole time? There's so many times I wanted to say it as well.
You little Anakin! Oh, we're right about one thing, Master. Negotiations were
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny. And I think it kind of supports my attitude on it, which is like, I mean, there are plenty of situations where someone should have probably said it previously in this series. Who do you think would have said it most likely?
Anakin?
I'm going to go with Han.
Oh,
I feel like Han would have been the most likely candidate to say it. So.
Yeah, because he does say, I see you in hell.
He does, right.
That kind of makes sense.
Most likely to use a swear word, Han Solo, I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah.
And Anakin, because, sure, dark side, I guess, whatever.
Also, Anakin had an enormous attitude problem the entire prequel series.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, let's get into some comic books. Specifically comic books, right?
I'm ready.
It is Wednesday. It is New Comic Book Day. So here are some of the titles available at your local comic shop. And when I say here, I mean here are our picks, and then we'll follow it up with some of the other items available now. Check this out. We're over here fighting with the tablecloth on the table. We're just like,
I desperately need it to be smooth.
Right. I guess we both have like the same issue. I don't know if it's OCD or whatever. It is. It's just, why is this not smooth? Anyway, you want to go first, actually?
I do, actually. I'm really excited about my pick this week.
All right, let's
This
go.
was a gem I stumbled upon. So like we said before, comics tell a lot of stories besides just superhero stories. So that's what my pick this week is about. I'm picking Play Like a Girl, published by Blazer and Bray. It's a graphic memoir from Misty Wilson, and it chronicles her 7th grade experience as the only girl on her town's football team.
Oh, wow.
So when the boys in her school tell her, girls can't play football, she figures the only thing to do is join the team and play football.
Yeah.
And so I picked this thing because this book because there seems to be this kind of never-ending discussion about like where girls belong, what they can and can't do, and kind of recently as it pertains to football, I've seen on my timeline a lot how girls are ruining fantasy football or like women being involved in fantasy football.
Fantasy football?
Yeah.
Oh God. This is not where I thought you were going to go with this. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it is, unfortunately. That's not where I was hoping it would go either.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, and my sentiment with that is very much like, who are you to make that judgment? Like, it's fantasy football. Like, who are you to feel like this is or isn't a place for women to be in what is basically a game, right? Who gets to make that decision? And so this book takes that same sentiment and doubles down on it with the whole, like, you can't do that? Fine, just watch me attitude.
Okay. All right, cool. You know, like I've heard people say this before. I'm not the first person to say this. Sports fans and comic book nerds are not that different.
No,
they're
really
not.
are.
Like, yeah, I just, in fantasy football in general, not just in regards to this subject, I think it's a perfect example of this. Like, it's just very nerdy on a very different scale.
Yes.
Yeah, no, check that out. That's out today, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Awesome. My pick this week is Starhenge #4 from Image Comics.
Oh, you've been on this.
Yeah, Liam Sharp, he's writing and drawing this series, and it's the simplest way I can put it is Doctor Who meets Terminator meets Arthurian legend.
Okay.
I talked about issue 1 on here. I have not talked about the subsequent, the last 2 issues. Only this week I got around to reading #1, right?
Okay.
So I read #1. It is really cool. Like, it is actually really cool. I actually really enjoy it. The simplest way I can explain it is that robots and humans are at war in the future. The humans' only real defense against robots is their use of magic. Right.
I love that.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yes.
Because, of course, the robots, you know, they're thinking in ones and zeros, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Magic just doesn't make any sense to them. The humans use magic to send one of their own into the past / present day, right?
Okay.
To prevent the robots from taking away humanity's magic. That's basically the entire premise, right?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So a little bit of Terminator in there, you know, in addition to some other stuff. At the center of this is like this super sarcastic teenager named Amber, who I'm thinking she's going to be kind of like the Sarah Connor character in the book. This is just what I love about comics. I mean, that's really what it is. It's a big idea. And it's one of those ideas that is so big that I almost guarantee you that if it ever got turned into a Netflix show or into a major motion picture, it would not compare. It would pale in comparison. And, you know, that's the beauty of comics. No budgetary limitations. It is beyond imaginative.
Yeah.
And it's just letting Liam Sharp just run wild. Just go into the comic book wilderness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just go crazy. It also looks amazing. And it's loaded with a lot of fun ideas, and then those ideas just drive the plot along. Like, every new idea is kind of like, oh, okay, so this expands the universe just a little bit more and more. I typically don't do fantasy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not really my thing. I kind of glossed over Game of Thrones after the first season. Had no real interest in Lord of the Rings, like the new TV show or anything like that.
Oh yeah, Rings of Power.
You know. But this kind of served a nice sweet spot. I think it's like, you know, the fantasy, but also the evil robots, of course.
A little bit of sci-fi,
right.
Our favorite.
Right. The Terminator aspect. That stuff kind of that speaks to me directly. So, Starhenge #4 of 6. So we got 2 more issues.
Okay.
Is in comic shops now, and you guys can pick that up today. And I've seen quite a few stores still had the previous issues.
Good.
So you guys can pick those
Get
up
them
as
all
well.
at once.
Like, at least the stores I've been to, they've had at least a few of the of 1, 2, and 3. So check that out. And you can find out more on our website. Go to PREVIEWSworld.com/new releases.
Where is it, Johnny?
I'm getting there.
Where is
Oh
it?
my God.
Well, now I'm a liar.
Yeah. Hey, isn't that Oscar Isaac book out this week too?
See, I'm a little confused on that
Okay.
because there's a little back and forth about if that's out this week or next week.
Okay, well,
But
it's soon.
It's soon.
Maybe
right.
today, maybe next week.
Head Wound Sparrow, it was just Oscar Isaac's kind of pet project with his buddies from back in the day.
Right.
Is coming to comic shops from Legendary. Might be today.
Could be next week.
But you can find out. Go to PREVIEWSworld.com/new releases. Listen to us while you're on PREVIEWSworld.com/new releases. And don't miss an issue of anything by joining Pullbox. Just a little reminder that we also have PrevieWsworld Pullbox where you can connect your store to your account and then reserve your copies of everything. That's toys, comics, apparel, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
So go for it. All right.
We have a couple more comments.
Yeah, we love comments.
People
What's up,
checking in.
comments?
So going back to the discussion of the candy, Annie Fox saying she saw a new old candy, Mini Chuckles.
Never heard of that one.
And I looked it up. I've never seen this.
Oh, I've seen those. I think they still sell them at the dollar store.
Huh. They're like jujubes or something?
I like the eyeballs over the U for no reason at all.
She also said, apparently a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, swear words that survived until today were first used.
Okay, hold on. I have to take issue with this. They were really beating a dead horse with the whole, we're looking for a human from Canary, a human male, human.
Uh-huh.
Is that not a human swear word?
Yeah, it is. Okay, no, of course, right. Well,
So if you're gonna really be like all in on we're looking for this particular species, which he's a human, and the people looking for him were also human, why can't you use human language?
Well, because they're not Earthlings. They're humans, but they're not Earthlings.
Okay,
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking that we get into the anthropology of a lot of stuff here, right?
What is wrong with us?
I mean, this is what we do. I would like to believe this is what you guys tune in for. I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like, okay, the human language functions on Earth. So, I mean, look, we don't know I'm sure there's a book somewhere that explains this, but the cosmic origin of Star Wars, right?
Right.
It could be very possible that all humans spawned from some Earth being that came over from this galaxy from our galaxy into their galaxy, and then they're like the Adam and Eve of the Star Wars universe. It's possible.
Okay.
I just never heard that story, so
Neither have I.
I don't know. It could be, but I just kind of feel like, yeah, that's Earth language. And also, they just have a history of just using stand-in language, curse words in the Star Wars universe, you know? So that's my whole thing.
A few more comments.
Okay.
Regarding your pick, Ashton, with Play Like a Girl, Annie Fox saying, I used to skateboard and got a lot of comments from the guys, but it wasn't all negative.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate the solidarity. That's kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't all negative, but there is, like, we just, like, weirdly assign.
Yeah, we assign stuff to genders. Yeah. Of course, right, yeah.
And Ubaldo is saying, yes, love Starhenge. The artwork is amazing.
It really is. Like, he's doing just really interesting things. This is, I don't want to overdo it, but, like, there's this double page spread where it's just like, he just kind of just doesn't do, it's a whole conversation, but he doesn't do word bubbles. And it's just very creative, like just the layout. And I think that's one of those things you get when you just kind of let the artist write the comic. You know what I mean? Like, he's really thinking about the layout and how to, like, present it in a way that's just very dynamic. You know? And there's a lot of that. And so it's really cool. Any more comments, Johnny?
Nope, that's it for now.
All right, cool. Let's get into some news. Because New York Comic Con did happen.
Wait, didn't we skip?
New comics.
Yeah.
Oh, we did. That's sorry. So here's Anamia. Here's Anamia. What's the comic shops this week, and then we'll do news. Sorry, guys.
What's at Previews World? Mia here, and I'm going to give you a look at some of the new titles and stores this week. Here's what's at comic shops for the week of October 12th, 2022. And we're just getting started. The world of comics has even more to offer. So stop at a shop already and you might just find your new favorite thing. See ya.
The Far Cry book that was up there.
Yeah.
I guess it's a tie into the upcoming video game. The description calls it was amphetamine-induced
Oh my God.
adventure.
That's incredible.
An amphetamine-induced adventure. And I was like,
All right.
I mean, that's a hell of a way to try to pitch a story. I'll give you that one. So,
Got my attention.
Yeah, that's available this week. I think that's from Titan, I believe. It definitely ties into the upcoming Far Cry game. All right, let's get into some news because, New York Comic Con did happen. And, of course, there's a lot of announcements. We're not going to cover all of them, but we're going to give you guys some highlights, all right? So let's do it. News.
Warning! Warning! Incoming news!
That was good. The echo actually really worked for that one.
It stressed me out because I thought there was like a feedback issue again. I have to listen to
We're all
myself
safe.
talk.
We're safe. What's up this week?
All right, so first thing is Invincible is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. Well, next year, I should say. 2023 marks the 20th anniversary of Invincible from Skybound, and they have a year-long celebration planned, including tons of publications. So 2023 will see the release of Invincible #1 Facsimile Edition, Invincible Undeluxe #1 One-Shot, which we're going to come back to in a minute, the Invincible Compendium Volume 1 hardcover, Invincible Volume #1 a new edition print, Invincible Universe Compendium, and then a ton of apparel, collectibles, toys, tabletop games, video games, the whole shebang. So Invincible Undeluxe #1.
Moves it right over.
Oh.
Sorry.
That wasn't subtle, Johnny. That caught my attention. I was slowly rolling out of the picture.
Right, in a couple of minutes you wouldn't even been there so far.
Just talking off screen. All right, so Invincible Undeluxe #1 is a reprint of Invincible #1, this time in black and white.
Right.
So we're going to run it back with no color this time,
Right, yeah.
which is kind of hilarious because it's, of course, a Robert Kirkman book, and he's currently doing The Walking Dead Deluxe, which is in color when it was
color,
originally
right.
in black and white, and this time he's doing it the backwards way around,
Yeah.
which is kind of cute.
It is. It's cute. It's cutesy.
It's cutesy. And then in a statement, Kirkman said, wow, 20 years, I can't believe it. Invincible is something that Corey, Ryan, and I have devoted a large portion of our lives to. And now that it's being discovered by an infinitely larger audience, it's really great to see it live on in so many different forms. And it's gratifying to know that people will be falling in love with Invincible for years to come. So all year next year.
All year next year. That's cool. Yeah, I get 20 years. That's nuts. But I
Right?
definitely was working at the comic shop at a comic shop when Invincible dropped, and everybody, you could kind of see the progression of people being like, "Hey, this is good. Hey, this is good. Hey, this is really good."
Oh,
you
really?
can see that happening in real
Yeah.
time. Same thing with Walking Dead, actually, because I was definitely working at the comic shop when that came out too. So, yeah, congratulations, 20 years. Actually, I'll
Yeah.
save it for next year because it's next year.
Save it for next year. No congratulations right now. All right, so Marvel stuff from New York Comic Con.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel had a time.
They did.
Past weekend. So they announced at their Marvel Comics Next Big Thing panel, they announced next year's slate of comic book events. So they've got Avengers Assemble, Dark Web, Sins of Sinister, Captain America Cold War, Summer of Symbiotes, and Fall of X. You can kind of see here on the graphic where they're plotted to come out over the next year. So the next set of events, all of these things are kind of tied together. The next set of events will kick off with the thrilling conclusion to Jason Aaron's Avengers saga in Avengers Assemble, which is coming out in November of this year. So it hit you guys with the solicit text. Visionary writer Jason Aaron brings his nearly 5-year run on Avengers to an incredible end. Joined by artists Brian Hitch, Javier Garron, and Aaron Cooter, Jason Aaron will tie together his works on Avengers, Avengers Forever, and Avengers of 1 million BC in a multiverse-spanning saga that sees the Avengers go to war against an unprecedented army of villains, and prove why they're the mightiest heroes on all Earths. Woo. Okay, so that's out next month. How you feeling? You're the Marvel guy.
I'm into it. I have not read much of Aaron's Avengers.
Okay.
I love the idea of the Avengers 1 million BC.
Yeah.
I love that idea. Like the idea, I think it's Odin, the original Phoenix, Bast, who is the Panther God of Wakanda.
Okay.
It's a fun thing. The original Iron Fist. Just kind of showing these lineage and where they started from and where they ended up. I would have actually read a whole series about that. Like, I think they haven't really delved that much into it. Like, they did a little one shot and then shifted over. The other thing, I'm curious about Fall of X because, I was real big into the Hickman X-Men stuff. Yeah. And when you say Fall of X, in light of some of the recent events of the X-Men, it makes it sound like we might be going back to a status quo. I don't have any inside track on that, but it makes it sound like maybe the age of Krakoa is coming to an end. I'm not sure. The one that I was already curious about was Dark Web, because they had already started, sending floaters out. We'll actually show you guys a trailer about that later. But the fact that it's Ben Reilly and Madeline Pryor, who are like the most aggrieved clones in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
I'm very curious about that. Like, yeah, that kind of got my attention. I was already kind of like, okay, Spider-Man, X-Men, I might check that out. But yeah, that's an interesting angle on those characters. It could kind of be almost a swan song for both of them if they wanted to. So, yeah, very curious, very curious. So real quick, I want to talk about Joe Quesada.
Yeah, I know you do.
So he was Marvel for a good 20 years.
Right.
Like solid 20 years. And I probably would credit him for getting me back into, if not comics, Marvel comics for sure. Because I definitely had stopped reading Marvel for a bit there. And, he announced a few months back that he was leaving Marvel. And I had half a thought in my head, which is he might pop up at DC.
Oh my God.
And he has.
Oh my God. Yo, that's gotta feel like a betrayal.
I ain't mad about it.
No?
I'm not mad about it. I really am not. Like, it's one of those things where I at least am old enough to remember that Joe Quesada came from like indie comics. He did stuff with Valiant, with Ninjak. Like he was a different guy before he came to Marvel.
Okay.
It's just that he has been at home at Marvel for years.
Right.
He posted 2 covers for this upcoming Batman run that he's about to do. He's not doing the whole series, but he did 2 covers for, I think, one of the Detective Comics issues, and
that's dope.
Totally floored me. Like, I was just like, oh, okay. And that's just one of them. Do we have the other one, Johnny? We do. Okay. Like, just sick. Just sick. And it's interesting too, because this week I also saw Todd McFarlane posting about his cover to Batman 423. Definitely has the same energy. That's kind of a classic cover that he did for Batman, like in the late 80s. Has the same energy. And they're both kind of the same generation artists, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, just it's cool. And like kind of wish he was doing a whole series. Maybe he will. I don't know, but I'm cool with this. This is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah,
so it just looks awesome.
It does.
And I don't think I've ever seen a Joe Quesada Batman. So yeah, I'm pretty certain I've never seen him do that character before. So yeah, this is cool to see.
That first cover with him like in the circle was kind of giving like James Bond vibes.
Oh yeah, actually you're right. Like with the gun barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Actually, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's so true.
Leaning into the detective side of things.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I feel like that was something that happened in the news that was just sort of like, what?
Yeah.
So especially if you're an old head like me, you know what I mean? If you're, let's see, hold on. I lost my track of my thought here.
Please
Dark
pause.
Web. Okay. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier we had a trailer for you. Here's the trailer for Dark Web. We come back, we'll talk a little bit about some of the other things we saw this past week. So
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, that actually looks kind of fun to me. I really like that premise. You were saying that Marvel has a flair for the dramatic.
So dramatic. I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's them. I think that's the thing that always kind of set them apart from, at least in the early going DC, right?
Yeah.
It's like they were a little bit. Stan Lee was more of a drama queen, you know.
Yeah, I love a drama queen.
So yeah, that was always the thing that kind of set them apart. Stan Lee always knew how to play it up to make it operatic, you know. So he was always big on that. That's in the previews catalog right now.
Nice.
It's hitting comic shops this December. So reserve at your local comic shop, or if you're feeling kind of lazy, don't want to leave the house yet, you can use PREVIEWSworld pull box. I'm just going to point that out.
Feeling saucy.
Head on over to PREVIEWSworld.com/pullbox and sign up, pick a store, make sure they're participating. That's also important. And let them know that you want Dark Web as your local comic shop. I watched quite a bit of stuff this weekend.
Yeah, I saw the list of things we were supposed to discuss, and I was like, oh, okay.
Did you see the Mario trailer?
I did see the Mario trailer.
Right. Thoughts on Mario's booty? Can we just get to this right now?
Bootygate.
Bootygate.
No, it was not present. not present and accounted for, not in attendance.
Right.
Also not in attendance was literally any effort at all from Chris Pratt. Dude just got in the sound booth and started talking, didn't make any effort to sound like anything other than himself.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I guess if you're going to hire him, you don't want him to do anything else, but are we done with Chris Pratt? Is that really what we're doing here? Is he reaching?
Yeah, dude.
Is he reaching J.K. Simmons, Samuel Jackson levels of overexposure?
Not possible.
Right.
I see J.K. Simmons on my TV every single night without trying.
I was watching, it's bringing this up just randomly, I thought about this. Have you seen the Major Lazer show? The TV show?
No, but it sounds familiar.
It's like Major Lazer, Diplo, and like
I know it.
They had an animated show.
Yeah, I'm familiar at least.
But randomly, J.K. Simmons is a voice on there.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be?
I totally forgot about that. I was watching the episode and I was like, J.K. Simmons is on this too. It's like Farmers Insurance, like Spider-Man, Batman, like anything. It doesn't matter. Anyway. I mean, I thought it was a cool trailer.
You were offended by the lack of booty?
I mean, I didn't even think about it until the internet called it to my attention and started making comparisons to the N64 version of Mario. If you go online, God help you, if you go online
and Google booty
and Google Mario booty or whatever, you will get a side-by-side comparison of Mario in the movie versus Mario on Nintendo 64. And the things the internet are infatuated with is just very interesting.
Who came up with this? Why? Who was? There you go.
There you go. See,
who was watching this trailer like Mario's not thick enough?
I mean, admittedly, he's kind of like Mario the Stallion on the left, right there.
Got a dump truck.
Like, it's a little ridiculous. Go ahead and say it, Ashton. Go ahead and say he's what?
He low-key thick with it.
Oh, I hate it so much. She said that during our meeting yesterday for the show, and I was like, please don't say that again. But it's like the fourth time you said it in the conversation.
I was going to refrain from bringing that particular phrase into today's show, but you gave me the go-ahead.
You know what? When I do the tweets for this tomorrow, I'm going to be like, quotations. He low-key thick with it. Picture the Mario booties on the screen and Ashton looking at it. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Great. I'll look forward to my downfall tomorrow.
Well, apparently the internet agrees with you, so you'll be safe. Also, MCU stuff. Sorry, Ashton. Got to talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
Daredevil showed up in She-Hulk.
Yeah. Did you call this?
I mean, I didn't predict this.
You kind of predicted this.
But I don't know, Johnny. You had a clip that of me talking about this before, right?
Yes, I do. Let's roll that footage.
I do want to mention this real quick about She-Hulk.
Go for it.
If we don't get, I don't want an episode. I want a season of Jennifer Walters versus Matt Murdock, Daredevil in court. That's what I want, because she's a lawyer.
In court.
In court. I want an entire courtroom drama season of those two characters, because now that Daredevil's in the MCU, they got to do it. Just do it, guys. Just do it, please.
So, okay, we didn't get a whole season, right? Mm-hmm. Which I still kind of want. And
courtroom drama.
I want the courtroom drama. That's what I want. This is the stuff I grew up on. You know what I mean? Like, you would sometimes get entire issues where there's like no action, but it's just like Daredevil defending some guy. Like, you know what I mean? But the episode we got was actually pretty cool. I thought it was actually a lot of fun.
You liked it?
Yeah,
You were
actually
satisfied?
It was my favorite episode of all of the She-Hulk episodes.
Okay.
And I don't think that's just because of Daredevil. I think it's just that the dynamics that they played off are very, very Marvel.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of, with Marvel, there's a lot of this character meets this character, and here's why they don't like each other, or this is why they get along. There's a lot of that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so this episode felt very much in that vein. Just felt absolutely perfect for that. Also, did you catch?
And can we briefly talk about the world's greatest walk of shame too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
So Daredevil, spoilers. Daredevil, She-Hulk hook up, but guess who does the walk of shame?
Not her, I assume.
Not her. It's her show.
Nice. That's what I like to hear.
Did you catch Werewolf by Night? Did you get a chance to?
I didn't, but I have a question for you. You told me to watch this because I would like it. What makes you say that? What about it would I like?
I don't know if you would like it. Let me pause. I just think that it's disconnected enough from all the other Marvel stuff, even though it's in the MCU, that it's enjoyable by itself. I also just think that it's stylistically and just stylistically, it's just very different from some of the stuff they've done. I loved it. I thought it was really cool.
Okay.
It's more. I would want Marvel to do more stuff like that. Truthfully.
Okay.
Where they just kind of start thinking more outside the box. All the stuff that I've liked from Marvel has either been the stuff that's been very, very too weird to be actually thought up by anybody other than people who originally made comics.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, like, I look at Guardians of the Galaxy and I'm like, no one in Hollywood would have thought of this.
No.
By themselves. Like, this had to come from something else in order for this to happen.
Somebody else's weirdo.
Exactly. And this is kind of in the same boat. Also, I was really shocked. This is one of those things only I care about. Michael Giacchino, who I love as a composer, he directed this. It's like a 45-minute episode.
Oh, wow.
And he directed the whole thing. And it's very interesting to kind of see, my phone's going on, and it's very interesting to kind of see the, I don't know, something can be said for, and maybe this is just me thinking too much about this, but something can be said for a music person directing something and how you're just watching it and it flows.
Oh, sure.
There's almost like a lyricism to the way that to the way he orchestrates these visuals, and it kind of really plays up really well. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was cool. I watched it twice this weekend because I thought it was very entertaining. Also, I saw Hellraiser.
How was it? You saw the new one, right?
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed by that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
To be fair, the bar is set exceptionally high by the original, so you're never gonna clear it.
Well, I just saw the original really for the first time just about a few weeks ago. Yeah, I had never actually. I'd seen bits and pieces of it before, but I never actually sat down and watched it. I finally sat down and watched the first two. So I don't really have that. I don't have that. That relationship with the material like I guess other people do. But I was a little disappointed in the. It was just a very, very simple slasher film. Yeah, it was just it was just kind of a slasher movie. I can't really think of any other way to put it. So, yeah, I was a little let down by that. Have you caught any Halloween-friendly material this past couple of weeks yet?
Halloween-friendly? I mean, I watch the original Nightmare on Elm Street every year because it's my favorite. I also went out of my way to purchase it from Suncoast, which I don't even know if those exist anymore.
Wait, when did you purchase from Suncoast?
Oh, man, like 15 years ago.
Okay, this must have been years ago.
Yeah,
okay.
I've just had this DVD in my collection. I bought it when it was like exciting to have a DVD and just like held on to it.
Okay, all right.
So I've watched that already. That's about it.
Okay, that's fine. I get that. I'm getting into the spooky season mode, and I think at least, if anything, Hellraiser and Werewolf by Night kind of steered me in that direction. So, actually, I wanted to point this out, the Hellraiser thing. Have you noticed this trend where they're making a new installment in a franchise, but using the same name as the first movie?
They did that with the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Right, they did that,
like
right,
Rooney
yeah.
Mara.
Yeah.
They did the same exact thing. So you put it on TV and you expect to see like the 80s version and you're like, who are these
This is the
people?
2022 one that I didn't really like? No, because they did it with Scream. I actually saw the new Scream movie. I guess it's the sixth Scream, I believe.
I forgot about that one already.
Yeah, and it was just called Scream.
That's right.
And then Halloween. Was the new Halloween just called Halloween?
The new one's Halloween Ends, but they did have another one that was just Halloween that came back.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. The Suicide Squad. They even do it with recent stuff like the Suicide Squad, the Batman. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a weird trend that I've noticed. I'm not sure what the marketing rationale is for that, but whatever. All right. Let's get into some.
Hold on, a couple more comments.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, comments. What's going on?
Let's see. Stan Diamond check in saying, I'm keeping my expectations low for the Super Mario movie. It just seems like a hard concept to put into a movie.
I don't think it's that hard for animation, though.
But like, what is the plot?
That's fair.
That's my concern.
It's some Bowser something.
Also, like, video game movies are historically very difficult to adapt into a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be better than the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo film.
Yeah, I was about to say the bar's very low. With
All
John
right.
Leguizamo's Luigi, right? Yes.
Stan's also saying, Troy was so right. An entire season of them going at it in court would be great. The one episode didn't feel like enough.
That's kind of how I feel. I just
Start a petition.
Start a petition.
But he's also saying, is it still a walk of shame if you're rocking a gold helmet?
also fair. He has something to be proud of in that, I guess. So
Okay,
whatever.
all right. All right.
All right.
it.
What's up, Johnny? That's it? Okay, cool. Let's get into some social swamp. Because that's how I wrote it on here. I wrote social swamp. We maybe should probably start calling these asinine arguments with Ashton. Because technically that's what these are.
Yeah. I thought this one was going to be... Yeah, let's get it in before I start discussing it.
Let's do it. Social swamp.
This is my official appeal for it to be Asinine Arguments with Ashton, because my goal with these polls weekly is to ask a question that'll get you mad enough that you feel the need to leave a comment. I accomplished that
It's a good goal,
this week.
especially for Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. And I did accomplish that this week. Also, I went for a spooky theme. So my question is, can a vampire turn a zombie into a vampire?
Interesting. Okay. At first I'm like, what, Ashton? And then I was like, well, off the break, out the door, right? I'm going to say...
Knee-jerk reaction.
Knee-jerk reaction. Yes, but it's going to be a really crappy vampire.
Yeah. Like the world's most useless vampire.
Actually, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, because don't vampires traditionally, in classic vampire fiction, they have ghouls. They have familiars who are kind of already dilapidated, like rundown humans who are given the promise of becoming a vampire. So technically, but see, they don't bite them though. So
A dilapidated
that's the best word I could think of. Actually, but yeah, they don't bite them though. So that's kind of the deal. Is like they just kind of leave them hanging on.
My concern, my initial thought was like, if a vampire goes to bite a zombie, there's a high chance that the zombie also bites the vampire. So then, can you have a zombie pyre?
I really think that a zombie would not make it far enough to bite the vampire back.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they would kind of come apart before that would actually happen.
Okay.
I mean, potentially. I don't know. I mean, there are different types of zombies too, though. That's the other thing.
I have to tell you, I feel like this is important context. My entire, the reason this particular question came about, I'm rolling out of the shot again. The reason this question came about is because at first I wanted to ask if a vampire bites a human that has a bloodborne illness, would the vampire get sick?
Oh, interesting. That's an interesting question, actually.
Thanks.
Huh. Actually, that would have been an interesting question too, to be honest. I feel like that's been covered somewhere. This has to have been covered somewhere. Huh.
Yeah, that was part of my concern. Was I didn't want someone to be like, "Is this about AIDS?" in the comments, and not necessarily there's other bloodborne illnesses.
Yeah, of course, right? Yeah.
But also, I thought someone would be quick to be like, "This was addressed here."
Yeah, right.
Well, actually.
That could have been interesting, actually. But yeah, I could see how people would go in. I mean, the first thing I definitely thought of was AIDS. So.
Right.
But I mean, it's an interesting idea. I swear somebody must have done something with that before.
Like, if you bite a human with malaria and you drink its blood, are you a vampire with malaria? And what would a vampire with malaria be like?
Right.
Oh, that's a mess.
And would they recover eventually, but would they be sick for a really long time?
Right.
Or like for a week or something? Huh. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my original answer, which is, for whatever reason,
Okay.
they would bite a zombie. The zombie would become a vampire, but it would become a pretty crappy vampire.
Crappy vampire.
And then probably would just fall apart and die. Would
it be but could you reinforce it? Like, if you turned a zombie into a vampire, aren't vampires strong? So then, like, could you make the zombie strong again, or does it like still have brittle bones? Could you reanimate a zombie by turning it into a vampire?
Because they're not. Vampires are just stronger. Oh wow! So they could like become. Would they become human again? Or would they become vampires?
But vampires aren't human.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe like in the world, the weird,
math,
the pseudoscience of this, all right? The zombie's already a decayed body.
Right.
The vampire, who is undead, bites the zombie. So by biting the zombie, maybe the neutral territory is the zombie becomes a human again.
You offset its zombiness
with the
vampireness and just make it a human.
But then typically, I'm getting way too into this. Typically, the zombies are bred from some sort of infection, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking maybe the vampire gets sick.
Oh, because it would be like if you bite a human with bloodborne illness. So because a zombie's just sick.
You're right.
So if you try to bite a zombie, do you just get sick and die?
And I mean, we got to ask this question. Liz always asks me this question: Is it one of those, in her words, old crappy zombies, or is it like the World War Z zombies?
Oh, like a fast zombie or slow zombie, an old crappy zombie. That's a classic zombie, Liz.
That's a classic zombie. Right. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting because the World War Z zombies are kind of nimble, so.
They're scary. They're really coming in hot.
Should we ask Johnny?
Well, I think that we do have a couple people chiming in from the poll on Twitter that have some good feedback. So the Grumpy Vampire Chef is saying, at least according to most recent vampire lore derived from modern vampire fiction, vampires can't drink dead blood. Although I think in some old folklore, vampire-like creatures from various global mythologies have been known to infect the dead.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's something I did not know, so that's actually very informative.
Another person here says a zombie's blood doesn't flow, so the vampness has no way to travel through the bloodstream. I don't know, just a hot take.
That's probably the best take, actually.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I think that's actually that's probably on the money, the most on the money.
Yeah.
Because, they're dead. The zombies are dead, so there's no blood flow, so boom. I'm changing my answer to that guy.
Lame.
Can we look at the tally, Johnny?
Well, hold on. I have just another point. So, if the vampire did drink the zombie's essence or whatever it is traveling through its veins, isn't that what basically what's in the zombie would affect is what infects a human? So, if the vampire is drinking that, then I feel like they would turn into a zombie-like creature before the zombie would be turned into a vampire. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to follow. The zombie, they would turn into a zombie-like creature before the zombie would turn into a vampire. Okay, yeah.
So it's basically the same argument of if the zombie bit the vampire first, but the zombie doesn't need to do any. It's like the zombie doesn't need to do any work.
Work, right? Yeah. Which I mean, kind of also makes sense, right?
Zombies aren't exactly workhorses.
You're right. They're not. They're right. They're not go-getters.
No,
well,
not.
Actually, I mean, I guess they are.
Not especially. They are go-getters, but
when
they're not very motivated go-getters.
All right.
So what answer are you going with?
Oh man. I'm gonna say no way. I'm gonna say no way.
Oh, wow, that's a blowout.
75% of people agree.
Okay, wow, all right. I mean, what was the name of the guy at the bottom who made that comment about the blood flow? Cybot 404. Yes, I think he's on to something. I think that's a very valid argument. I don't know if you agree with that, but I think it's at least an interesting point.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
I'm a little mad because I think it might undermine what I was trying to accomplish.
So you got one enemy, Cybot. All right, let's do Comic Shop shout out.
This week's Comic Shop shout out comes from me.
Oh, nice.
So I was actually at Collector's Corner Outpost in Bel Air, Maryland this weekend. I'd never been to that shop before, and it was awesome. I liked it a lot. So if you're in the Maryland area, check it out. Johnny, will you be showing pictures of them during our credit roll?
Yes, we will.
Okay, sweet. So you'll be able to get a look inside their shop during the credit roll. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name, and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We'll find your local comic book shop, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
Rolling out of the shot again.
Which way do I need to go? Not that way, this way. To the left, to the left, to the left.
There you go.
Now kick, now kick.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing Beyonce for a second there. All right.
Now walk it by yourself.
Keep going. I'm just going with it. It's okay. You know what? I had my list of titles I want to talk about this week. There you go. Thank you.
Talk about this.
Yes, over on the PREVIEWSworld website. Silent Night, Deadly Night. So we were talking about horror movies, right?
Yo, Santa would wreck somebody. Let me tell you right now.
Oh, did you see the new trailer with the guy from Stranger Things?
It's a Violent Night with David Harbour.
With David Harbour.
Oh,
I actually did want to talk about that. Yes, go. Just go when you go upstairs.
Santa murking
Go
people.
look at it. Yes, just go upstairs and look at it. It's great. There's also a Mel Gibson movie that came out not too long ago. It's kind of not exactly the same thing, but kind of reminded me of it too.
Okay.
But anyway, Killer Santa Clauses. This is a thing that's going on. It's actually kind of a thing that's been going on in horror for quite some time, and it just so happens that people in American mythology, the people in American mythology are doing a prequel to the Silent Night, Deadly Night slasher film that came out years ago, it's coming from S.A. Check and James Kohoric. Check it out. There's a cool little interview with the filmmakers who created the movie itself and why they want to do a prequel comic to Silent Night, Deadly Night, and that is available to pre-order now from PREVIEWSworld. Also, I got to point out the Zach Thompson interview I did for Nature's Labyrinth.
Okay.
I was pleased to find out that this is very much inspired by the movie or the book Battle Royale, which is one of my favorite stories.
Okay.
Which inspired Hunger Games and what was that? What was the Korean TV show that everybody was talking about?
Squid Games.
Squid Games. There you go. And so this is very much in that vein.
Okay.
The idea that you put a bunch of criminals on an island,
Sweet.
and they basically have to fight to survive.
Sweet.
And it just turns out that one of the characters in this mix is actually trying to expose this island of unfair, inhumane practices and who is behind all of this. So Nature's Labyrinth actually, as you can see, is an actual labyrinth too, which is actually pretty cool.
That is also my nightmare.
And also some cool, fun-inspired, manga-inspired artwork as well. I'm excited about all these, but the one I'm really excited about is Ninja Funk. And that is from Whatnot Publishing. They have this series that, it looks really cool. It looks awesome. And it's basically about a bunch of DJs trying to save the universe from being offbeat.
I love that
concept. It's a great concept. And we were talking about highly imaginative.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff that only works in comics.
Oh,
And
look
I
at
absolutely love
that.
it. Yeah. Just a great, cool concept. Just boss art. Just boss art. Like, I just absolutely love it. And just a cool idea. And so I'm curious to see how this plays out. It promises like cyborgs and robots and like a lot of like just universe spanning craziness.
Whoa.
The creator of this book is actually part of a DJ duo called Ninja Funk. And so they went ahead and made this comic for themselves. Also got to point out JPG, who's part of this duo, was a comic shop owner. Or is a comic shop owner. So shout out to him.
Love that.
Check that interview out because I'm really curious about this. I probably will pick it when it comes out because this actually sounds right up my alley. And it is 2:59. That is it for PREVIEWSworld Weekly.
Right on the money. We're punctual.
On the money. Here's your reminder to like, follow, and subscribe. You can hang out with me at PREVIEWSworld. Oops, I just touched the mic. You can hang out with Ashton at
Free Comic Book Day.
And that is it.
We're matching this week. I need to point that out.
Yeah, we are matching this week. It's actually kind of funny. That's it for PREVIEWSworld Weekly, guys. I'm Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm Ashton Greenwood.
And we'll see you guys at the Spinner Rack. Catch you later.
Come on.
Be sure to follow PREVIEWSworld on all of our social media platforms to stay up to date on new comic releases, toys and collectibles, articles, and much more. Set foot on PREVIEWSworld.